Hello, hi, my name is Daniel, and it is week number 5 update. And it's been a big week for a couple of reasons. So, first of all, I'll say I actually had the worst numbers out of all the weeks that I've done so far. Let's break it down. So, where I ended up on was about 26 hours of work total out of a potential 37, with about 3 sales and about 10K cash collected. Obviously, I only get 10% of that, so that's like $1,000, which again is like nothing compared to what I need to be earning. Um, and yeah, I took about 14 closing calls, so 3 out of 14. We're talking about 30% call to close roundabouts. So it was a bad week in terms of volume and a bad week in terms of output, which again, these are things that are in my control that should never be there. The awesome thing is, I had one of those weeks where I guess nothing's going right. Um, like the first half was great. First 2 days didn't touch my phone, did my meditation, did my investing in the morning, work, did my Spanish lessons. Then on Wednesday, I had a date booked for 8:30, so I rescheduled. Well, I like kind of cancelled one of my closing calls. Not cancelled, the guy didn't show up, and because of that, I maybe I could have hounded him on the phone to get him on the call, but like he just wasn't really like he just wasn't showing up for the call. Um, I probably wouldn't have cancelled if he would have shown, but he didn't show. But I prioritized this date at 8:30. It got pushed to 9:30 because of the girl. Obviously, she was late. And then what happened at 9:30? She didn't show up. Right. So I'm just standing there looking at my phone like, what the hell? What the hell? What is going on? Um, and I got really depressed about that. But just to kind of back up a second here, similar thing happened a week ago last Friday, where I was texting a girl. We were supposed to go on a date at around 8:30, um, and she ended up being about an hour and a half late, and she didn't message me. So I just texted her to cancel at like 9:30. I was like, hey, like let's just reschedule. I mean, she got really upset with me because she was like, I just spent all this day getting ready, blah 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 blah. And I felt like maybe I was overreacting, and I should have just like let it slide. We are in South America after all. Um, so then the second week, when I had this date plan with this girl that I was really excited to see, and I'd been working my ass off the whole week. I was like, and I'm really practicing my Spanish. Me hablo español. So I was excited to go on a date with her because she spoke Spanish. And then again, I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna let my own insecurities of like the girl's gonna stand me up or any of these things get in my head. So I arranged the date for 8:30. She said, yeah, that works just fine. Then she pushed it by an hour at 8:30 to 9:30. At that point, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go to the gym. So I went to the gym for an hour. 10 o'clock. No response. No message. No hey, like I'm getting ready. Nothing. So then I just text her, tell her like, hey, like I just finished the gym. Gonna go grab some food. Let me know when you're ready. All right, because we were supposed to go and get some food. And she doesn't respond, and it gets to about 10:30, and I originally had Spanish lessons booked from 11 to 2, which I cancelled specifically to see this girl, and I just felt like such an idiot. I mean, I was standing there like, you know, focused on this girl more than I was like my Spanish lessons, more than I was my closing calls. Like that girl was more of a priority than my work. And I think one of the hardest things about being good at something and being in sales or just doing anything consistently, it's kind of balancing an actual life into that and being flexible. And I'm someone that's like very like autistic, like I need everything to be done on schedule, by the schedule, at the time, every single time. If it's not, I get really frustrated, and I get kind of depressed. So with this girl, what I should have done was at 10:30, should have rebooked my Spanish lessons from 11 to 2, should have gone to bed at 3, and I should have crushed the fucking following day on Thursday. Probably would have texted the girl and gone on a date with her Thursday, Friday. Anyway, what did I actually do? I ended up doom scrolling on my phone and blasting through YouTube. That's what I do when I'm like really depressed, um, and porn as well. I'll be honest, it was mainly the porn. That's the main. That's like my crutch. And I ended up going down that rabbit hole till like 5, 6 a.m. in the morning, which again is not something I'm proud of, but that's something that for me is like one of the main addictive things that just gets me when I get really depressed. That's what hits me. And then I ended up going to bed at like 5 or 6 in the morning, maybe slept for 5 hours, and then obviously had to work the next day. And that meant I ended up drinking caffeine the next day because I was tired. And every time I drink caffeine, I get anxious. So I didn't do my investing or my meditation. I missed that on Thursday, and then I kind of hyper stressed my body. Didn't fully sleep on Thursday evening either. Friday, similar thing happened, um, which again I don't feel great about. But the understanding or the realization was within that situation was that, how do I say, I I didn't have the correct reaction, right? When you're in sales and you're hyper productive and you're hyper focused, you have really high standards for yourself and your time and the people that you work with. So then to then switch from that to like socializing, fun with people, loosey goosey, fucking around, having fun, not worrying about like, you got to be exactly on time on the letter, otherwise like this is not on and like this is not cool. It's really hard making that switch. And when the girl stood me up, obviously all the insecurities of like I'm not good enough, who's gonna want to date me, these things come into your mind. And not only those things, but also like the previous girl where like a similar situation happened, and then like the depression kind of takes hold, and then that's when you lean on a crutch like porn, for example. That was the bad, that not the bad, but that was the, you could say is the main problem with the situation. It's not what happens, but it's how you respond to what happens. That's the issue. And I was very upset with how I responded to that situation. So as a future reference, turn off the porn, rebook the Spanish lessons, knock them out, go to sleep on time. Now, on the plus side, after watching this porn, I had these realizations, and the following day I absolutely crushed Thursday, Friday. Yes, I missed my meditation. Yes, I didn't do the investing as well as I could have, but I did a bit of meditation, and I nailed my sales calls as best that I could. And then on Friday, I didn't drink any caffeine at all because I know it kind of fucks up my anxiety. So, and I still managed to close the deal on Friday. Didn't close anything on Thursday. But the point is, for me, that porn is like adversity. Getting stood up as adversity, reacting badly, and realizing that, and then trying to fix that by not fucking up Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is exactly what took me from like hell Wednesday evening to where I'm at right now, which is here with you guys, um, shooting this video, right? And this weekend, I had a great time. Spent a lot of time with a lot of friends. Uh, Went on a really awesome date with a cool girl that I liked. Yes, I didn't hit like the 5 to 10 sales. I hit three, made a decent amount of money, and I went to the gym. I did a lot of productive things, and even though it wasn't a perfect week, it was one of those weeks where I'm doing like enough to keep the ball moving forward. And sometimes just showing up is all you can do, and honestly, that's enough a lot of the time, right? Because a lot of people, bad shit happens, and they just take the day off. They don't keep showing up. So this video is, I guess, about showing up and continuing to show up. And I almost didn't record this video because it's like almost like 2, 3 a.m. for me right now. I didn't really want to. Bedtime's in like an hour, but I challenged myself to do all the things to like do this update as quick as I can and this video as quick as I can, as to still do it, right? Because again, imperfect action beats the hell out of no action at all, and that's what this is. Okay. And now in terms of my review, obviously you could tell from that like the main things that went wrong or the things that I could improve. What I plan to do the following week is essentially again not touch my phone at all for the first 2 days, Monday, Tuesday. On Wednesday, I'll check my phone only after, let's say, the first 5 hours of the day. And that way, it's not going to interrupt my investing or my meditation or my first half of my sales. It's cool to arrange dates, but don't plan your whole day around them. Okay, because again, like I want to go on these dates because I want to have a life and I want to, date women in South America, but I don't want to arrange my life around them, which I think is the key. Okay. And furthermore, my call time was terrible this week. That's why my hours of work versus actual working hours was so low, which means that, like, looking back on it, I just didn't drop enough messages or outbound enough people to get enough dials on the phone. So that's really what I'm going to focus on is tomorrow. If I don't have anything in my inbox, I'm going to drop a sequence, which is basically like a text blast to a bunch of leads to start creating conversations with prospects. Okay. So appreciate you listening in. That's the update. Again, we are off track. Cheers to that. But it was one of those harder weeks, and it's just a great opportunity to hit it that much harder the following week, tomorrow. All right, peace, and yeah, I look forward to speaking to you next week.